On today's show, we'll visit a Minnesota company that takes good care of its boats, its employees, and its community. And this summer, we've decided to pick a favorite Minnesota lake and check out how the fishing's been so far. We caught some dandy fish, so tune in to find out where.
Wow!
Next, find out how a hard-working Minnesota furniture maker applied his skills to the outdoor trailer world. And our Minnesota Bound Classic this week takes a look back at some of our favorite sunrises. Whether it's a Minnesota lake or across the ocean, all these outdoor sunrises are special. Those stories and more, next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota Select GMC Dealers.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Ron's out on assignment this week. It's the dog days of summer, so we thought we'd start with one of our favorite stories about a north central town that takes a break this time of year to pay homage to a Minnesota legacy. True legacies do not just happen, especially overnight. To understand is to visit New York Mills, Minnesota, a Lakes Region town just about this big. This is working class country, where people put in hard-earned hours.
I mean, that's one thing that we do is
Todd Osmus understands.
we kind of pride ourselves in our work to make sure that we do it right and do it the best we can.
Todd works as part of New York Mills' biggest employer, Lund Boats. Seems most folks around these parts have some tie to Lund, whether they work at the plant or own a piece of the legacy. Whatever the reason, people love Lund. Exactly why once a year, New York Mills takes a break from work to play. In a single day, 2 parades. The first starts just after sunrise. A procession of 50 boats works across Otter Tail Lake, and every single one of them, you guessed it, is a Lund. Locals call this Lund Mania, an annual fishing tournament to honor the brand.
Minnesota and Lund go hand in hand, built by fishermen for fishermen.
There's your walleye, right there. Throw it to the camera.
Nancy Kep fishes Lund Mania for one reason.
Well, my first boat was a Lund, and I had a 14-foot lime green Lund with an 8-horse Mercury on it. Everybody's got their own flavor, and mine's Lund.
All Lund, people that are dedicated to Lund, love the brand, tied to the brand in some form or fashion, and it's really a brotherhood of a bunch of anglers.
The tournament pits locals against the biggest names in walleye fishing.
Yeah, it's tough out here today.
Guys like professional angler and Lund pro staffer Perry Good.
So far we got northerns, perch, and a couple small walleyes, but not what we're looking for.
We got 100 anglers out here today, actually got a fish on, and these 100 anglers get together and just have a great time at the event. There's the quality of my skill catching right there. It didn't even get him in the lips.
They finish in 8th place this year.
The winners will end up downtown later in the day, which might be why people line New York Mills hours before the second parade even starts. Actually, they come to see Lund's other boats. The Main Street boat race gets people fired up. Watching, you realize this is a true crash course in community fun. All because of a single company.
It is one of the staples of the community. I mean, it's just great to be part of.
And a legacy started on the simple idea that people like time on water.
Big fish.
Oh,
Coming up, need a go-to spot this summer to catch some fish? Well, we found one. Need a hint? It's all about taking a little medicine.
got him. Oh, my gosh.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Minnesota Select GMC Dealers, Connecticut, Ellsworth Creamery, and by Borderview Lodge.
You know, several years ago, Ron asked me to start highlighting a few of my favorite Twin Cities lakes, and we always did that, but it was during the winter season. So we're changing things up a bit. It's now time for our summer edition.
Not to sound the alarm, but today we blow the lid on a secret.
There's 2 good mats in here. About right there's a good mat.
We're lucky to have dozens of lakes right around the Twin Cities.
All right, we'll go get them.
But a few bodies of water just seem to stand out. And this would be one of them. Medicine Lake, on the west side of downtown.
Medicine Lake is it's a metro area lake. It's really close, and it's got big fish in it.
Look, tall buildings.
To prove the point, I signed up 3 of Minnesota's best bass anglers. Dan Quinn of Rapala fame, and tournament anglers Ryan Johnson and Pete Prespiora.
Yeah, we get out here 6 times a year probably for me.
You come have some fun and get into them pretty good.
You're essentially right in the city.
Yep, you are.
Together, we hope to show exactly what hides in this city lake.
What are you throwing, DT16?
Yep.
There's a lot of really good metro area lakes, and Medicine's one of them.
It's one of those little gems that's close to home and easy to fish. When you find them, you'll find big ones.
You had one.
I'm getting banged around.
Funny, but when we set out to shoot a simple lake story,
Oh,
Big fish.
oh, I'm gonna go get the net.
it quickly becomes a competition.
No wonder we didn't catch him. That thing couldn't have fit a crankbait in its mouth.
Wow, they're just ornery over there.
Yeah.
Come on! For us at the moment, that's a victory. Even you, Mr. Pike.
Medicine is a magic lake. Year-round homes surround much of the lakeshore. A city park sits on the lake's west end. On the north, French Regional Park, complete with a beach and trails over 9 miles long. The city of Plymouth also worked on an aggressive lakeshore restoration project to cut down on stormwater contaminants and rehabilitate shoreline back to native plants. The result, cleaner water and more recreational opportunities. Meanwhile,
One fish does not a trip make.
it seems our fishy dreams, at least for today, quickly go to pot.
We should be robbing banks today. We would never get caught.
Weird that they're following too and not eating. That was definitely a bass.
Oh, got him. Got him. Oh, my gosh.
Just one of those days.
Oh yeah. Oh no! You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, my
Oh
gosh.
no, we got major dumpitis in this boat.
Come on.
While Dan and I struggle, Ryan gets his fish.
Look at the size of that bullhead.
Oh, big fat
That kind of sums up Medicine Lake today.
Yes, it does.
Well, I was actually under the impression when we started that we were going for bullhead. Was that not right?
You believe that?
Not really, but I do believe in miracles.
That's a good one.
There he is. A lot of casts for this fish. Fishing in the metro. Pretty cool to have lakes like this and opportunities to get out and fish right in the metro.
Good job. Hey, great job, Dan.
Appreciate
really
it.
happy for you.
Really happy for you, Dan.
Like I say, some guys catch bass, others catch bullheads.
Well, thankfully, we were the guys that caught the bass today.
On Medicine Lake, you can catch both.
So what do you get when you take a furniture maker who loves the outdoors? Well, you get the niftiest little trailer you've ever seen.
Comfy as this.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Yard.
It's time to meet a Minnesota man, a fine furniture maker who somehow dreamed that his craft might be applied to our outdoors.
In a world where people perpetually dream of getting outdoors,
There we go.
Burt Taylor considers himself the poster child.
I'm a guy with a shop that has some tools.
To understand Burt's story is to go back in time, back to the days Burt designed and sold hip furniture, first in New York City and eventually a novel Minnesota shop. Thing was, Burt toiled over his work.
And I thought I wanted to make furniture using Airstream technology, rivets and aluminum, and I couldn't quite figure out what it would be.
Enough tinkering eventually led to change. Inside a Northeast Minneapolis shop,
Gonna need a little
Burt
bit of room.
and his closest buddies grind away their days.
It's really fun when a bunch of deaf old guys get together.
Gonna meet up there.
Half the time they're yelling at each other and saying, "What?" or "Where is that?"
Burt's small team spent long days and late nights rebuilding and rebranding a piece of American outdoor culture.
It's iconic. It's Americana. Well, it is art. Is it art? I don't know.
It is Burt's take on a vintage camping trailer. He calls it a Vistabule, a classic trailer with all the perks of modern materials and Burt's contemporary design.
Anytime you put a piece of furniture on a pair of wheels and take it down the road, it's a different animal.
See, Burt had seen plenty of old articles on post-World War II travel trailers. He liked their style and where the trailers took people.
Once I learned about teardrops, I knew immediately that that's a scale that I could work with.
He built his trailer based loosely on the old school design. A bed inside and a kitchen out back.
This one has a sink and stove combination.
Everything else, Burt designed from scratch.
What I wanted to do was make it more open, more spacious.
He created a camper that seems more like a piece of fine furniture or even art.
Well, people say, yeah, it's art on wheels, but that makes me uncomfortable, It's so pragmatic and utilitarian.
But so true.
I have many, many eureka moments in this process, a lot of which crash and burn.
Enough ideas stuck. Eventually, Burt completed a trailer.
I knew that people were going to like them. I didn't know they were going to like them this much. For the first one that I built, I put an ad on Craigslist. And within 3 hours, I got a call and sold it.
So Vistabule #1 right there.
Stephanie Weiss made that first phone call. She too had a hankering for Burt's catchy design, especially the galley.
It's got a silverware holder, cup holders, storage for paper towels. It's sort of ridiculous how it's probably nicer than my kitchen at home.
Maybe that's why Vistabule suddenly seems to get so much attention. Or maybe it's the idea that a local guy built on his vision.
I mean, this thing sitting in front of Mount Rushmore or Devil's Tower or Old Faithful is just like, they're meant to be.
It's compact, It's designed beautifully. It's comfortable.
Exactly why Steve Mayer bought Burt's trailer.
We have traveled 22,000 miles with this on 4 different trips.
Setup takes exactly that long.
I mean, it's as comfy as this, you know? Here it is.
Enough said.
You know, we're like raccoons. We like things that are shiny, and we like to take them home, you know, put them in our den. And I think people like the shiny, kind of mechanistic thing that is happening here. It's just such an easy way for people to go and enjoy their travels.
Our Minnesota Bound Classic this week highlights something we all take for granted, some memorable sunrises.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Jesse Treble's Safe Basements of Minnesota, Maui Jim Sunglasses, and by Evinrude, the official outboard motor of Minnesota Bound.
Today's Minnesota Bound Classic takes us back to one of my favorite parts of summer. Ron Cherry explains.
A rising sun. It may be nature's version of the greatest show on earth. For sure, everybody in the whole world gets one every day. A sunrise brings us daylight, sometimes warmth, but almost always, a sunrise makes us think.
I happen to think that a guy's sexuality is actually determined by how many sunrises he lives.
It's full of possibility and potential, and you're ready for whatever the day is going to throw at you.
The really great thing about sunrises is that they are free.
Free and powerful. Horace Mann once said,
"A sunrise is like a last bracelet of time, set with minutes made of diamonds. When it is gone, no reward is offered, because it is gone forever."
No two sunrises ever seem to be alike. An African dawn is certainly different. Nothing like greeting the day with a giraffe. Halfway across the world, day breaks over an Arkansas marsh, and a symphony of birds wakes up. Sunrises in special places are always memorable. This one at the headwaters of the Mississippi River. On a Cuba morning, one thing is clear. Communism couldn't ban a rising sun. Yet, all sunrises, no matter where, seem to shed light about life itself. To author Jim Rohn, a sunrise was a lesson in time.
Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you can't get more time.
When you're up before sunrise and you're waiting for the sun to rise on a deer stand or wherever, you realize what a long process it is. It reminds you of how slowly nature does most of what it does.
As that sun's coming up, there's a stimuli. There's a stimulating growth of excitement, growth of enthusiasm that happens in a wild setting with the sun coming up that nobody has marketed.
But when it comes to controversies, well, not even sunrises are above dispute. Author Clifton Webb once wrote that he hated the dawn. The grass always looks as though it's been left out all night, he said. But sunsets don't compare.
You see a lot more sunsets than you see sunrises. To me, that purest time of day is the morning, and sunrises mean a lot more to me than sunsets.
They never get old, but you'll miss them if you sleep in. Well, that about does it for us today. Remember, Ron's back next week. But in the meantime, be sure to take the time to get a kid outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com. Share your stories on the Minnesota Bound Facebook page under the Share Your Story tab.